if you are tuning in, this is Best Friends with Benefits. My name is Noni, and over there, this way,
I'm Miss
who are you?
Kristen.
Yes, and this is a podcast where we have just straight conversations, the conversations that we normally have even on our FaceTimes together. And we have these really, really great, um, just BFF to BFF. We've been friends for over 10 years. That's crazy. We've been friends for over 10 years. We have gone through so much. And what I love about us too, there's so many gurus on social media. Everybody has advice, everybody has this, but everything that we talk about, it's from real life experience. Like we're both in our 40s. We've both crashed and burned and made the biggest mistakes and completely pulled ourselves out of it. And every episode is just a little piece of that, of our own lives. And that's what I love about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So today, to start the new year off right, this is something that we talk about a lot. And when I say it at first, it's going to sound so simple, right? We're going to talk about the power of choosing. So, Kristen, I'm going to ask you, if I say the power of choosing, how would you define what that means?
I think it's definitely a distinction between, like, in language of like choosing powerfully something and not having to give any excuses or any justification. It's just like, no, I'm choosing this. This is a choice. You're not like a victim of your circumstance for choosing it. You're just like, I am just choosing this because I'm choosing this. And this is where the power lies. And you don't have to give any justifications about it.
Something you said in that was so powerful. It's the victim part. A lot of us are living life and just going with the punches as if life is happening to you and you have no control over it. Yes, of course, there are things that we have no control over, but your actions and how you react to things and how you deal with things and how you have things fit into your life, that's where the choice is. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you one example. I'm sure Kristen has a million examples as well. There was, I want to say maybe 2 years, maybe more, 2 years. I didn't choose my body. After my second child, after Alice was born, I did not choose my body, meaning I wasn't really doing anything to make it better. I wasn't taking ownership of it. Oh, I had two kids. It's going to take forever to get back to where I was before. I was like obsessing on looking at before and after BBL procedures. You know, I would send it to you
I
like, look at this
know.
place. It's like affordable. And that's not me choosing the body that I am in, the physical shape that I am in. I was like, I had this idea in my head that I'm just going to pay money, snap my fingers, and just have another body. And that did not have me eating right. I was not choosing my body. I was not working out and being active. I was in a fantasy land in my head of, I'm just going to get my body done and then that's that. And I had a switch to where I made a choice. And a choice can go either way. And either way, there's nothing wrong. I could very well choose, okay, I'm not going to have my body. I'm going to take the actions to actually save money and get a BBL. Or I can choose my body the way that it is and start eating right and start working out. It's the when you're in the middle where it's like
Mm.
grass is always greener. I didn't choose anything. I wasn't saving money to get the BBL and I wasn't working out. So we have to make a choice. When you don't make the choice, you're just living in this fantasy land and not doing any kind of actions to make it work. Chris, you have any
That is
examples?
so good. Yeah, no, it's so good because what you said about you're like on the fence and like just imagine like sitting on a fence. Do you think that that's comfortable? But in a way, sometimes we make it comfortable because we make it okay. There's like a payoff to staying in that limbo because then we get to be justified about it. It's just like, okay, well, I'm not doing this because I had two kids and what do you blame me? Like, this is what I look like and there's nothing I can do about it. It just gives your power away to when you actually like choose, you're like, okay, I had two beautiful kids. It's a choice now. I'm either going to eat right, work out, and do what I can on my own, or save the money. And then like you can choose either one. You could still choose to get the BBL, but it would be coming from a place of empowerment and not just like trying to fix something, or like, oh, I'm just trying to like get my body back to where it was or whatever. And it's, you know, this happens all the time. I think with people that do get that stomach surgery or things, they're getting it from a place of fixing themselves, but they're mentally not like what you were saying, like choosing it powerfully and then getting the procedure done. They always end up going back to gaining weight again because it's not coming from a place of like, okay, I'm accepting that this is it, and I'm going to start working out and doing things from a place of power rather than just like putting a Band-Aid on or just trying to fix the surface layer, but underneath the psychological stuff isn't resolved.
So good. That is so, so good and such a great point. It's almost like if you don't actually choose what it is, you're setting yourself up for failure and whatever that is. You know, you're just letting life happen to you and not powerfully choosing what that is. There's some other areas I can think of where we both have been through. We've both been through the ringers in both circumstances. So the other place where people do not choose is in relationships.
Oh,
that could be romantic. That could be who your parents are. That could be your family. When we are in a relationship with someone and we're living on the fence and that grass is always greener and you're fantasizing about what life could be if you were with someone else and blah, 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 you're missing what you are in. You're not taking all the necessary steps. If I'm like, I choose this person or whatever that comes with, I'm going to stick beside them. You got to choose that person. And whatever comes, it can't be everything that comes up. You know, I knew it. This ain't it. I need to find something else. That's you always ready to jump ship. When you have one foot out of the door, you are not doing everything under the sun to make it work. And that you got to powerfully choose.
That is so powerful because it also comes in alignment with commitment, right? There was someone on Instagram talking about when she bought her house that it checked almost every box. And so it's my forever home. Like there's starter homes, they're forever homes. And then she picked this house. She's like, you know, I realized that picking a house, a forever home, is like finding your husband or finding your partner or whoever you're dating, because they might check almost every box, but there is going to be some boxes that they did not check and they probably never will check. Are you going to be okay with that? Like, am I going to stick by this partner? Am I going to buy this home knowing that there's a couple of rooms I need to redesign or whatever? It's not checking every box, but it's like when you choose it fully and accept it, no matter what comes up, right? The roof might start leaking, but you already chose that home. You already bought that house. So it's like, you can't just like jump, like you said, jump ship just because one little thing goes wrong or doesn't go the way you think is going to go. That's the power of choice. It's like when I choose this, I'm not going to and you taught me this. Like you did teach me this in a relationship. Like you're very mature in your way of being with being a wife, being a part, you know, choosing a partner, because it's like you can't go run to your friends when there's every little fight or every little thing. It's just like you have to choose that person. And I learned that from you. Like, and being in an experience where it's just like, I gotta say, like, my boyfriend pretty much checks every box and more that I didn't even know existed. If there's one or two things he does that like kind of get under my skin, I'm gonna choose to let that go because it's not a make or break deal for me.
That's so good. And it's not even always choose to let that go. It's choose, okay, this is something that we're going to work on together. This is not going to be a deal breaker. You know, cuz you got to think and imagine you're the person that's in a relationship with someone that didn't choose. You can feel that. You can feel that they're not doing everything possible, or any little thing that you do, they're, you know, they're got a wandering eye or whatever that is. Like that doesn't feel good. That doesn't make you feel secure. So it's like you don't want to be that partner either. You want to make sure that you are in it with them and you've made that choice. That's why I go back to vows and how just like how they are written, it's telling you like this ain't gonna be
For
everything.
better
It's
or for
better or
worse.
worse, richer, poor, sickness, and in health. It's telling you that this is about to be work. So you have to choose like getting a wedding ring and actually going through with it and being married. That is a choice, you know? So
Yep.
just making sure that you choose
Yeah.
love. And then the other place is in your job, right? Like
Hmm.
we've all had those jobs where it's like, oh, it doesn't check everything, but either you're lit up by it or you're getting paid the money that you want to make, but there are things that need to change or need to be fixed. You could either be in it and just be going through the motions, just doing what you can to just not get fired and collect a check. And constantly like looking for other jobs, or you could say this is where I want to be. This is definitely, you know, where I want to work, and be in it and do things, put things in place so that it works for you because you chose that. But
Hmm.
if you're constantly like, oh, everything is wrong and everything is happening to me, blah, 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 you can't let life happen to you. You got to be in it. You got to actually play the game to win it.
It's so good. It's a moment. And when you said that, it just made me think of like, wow, it really is like a moment by moment by moment. Because if you really go through life where it's just like, I don't feel like doing this and I don't feel like doing that, it's just like, okay, well, what are you like every moment? It's like you're making a choice to do something, to be present, like be in the moment. It's just like, yeah, you can go to work and collect a paycheck, but like, is that what you want to do for the next 25 years of your life? Like your job is you spend most of your time on this planet at a job. So wouldn't you rather have it than choose something else? Like choose something where you work for a nonprofit and you're making a difference, or you know, something that maybe doesn't pay as much, but you have more free time. Like it's all created by you and choosing.
Ooh,
And
I
like if
love
you
that.
want to stay at the job and make that money and put up with it, or like, you know, it's funny, me and my boyfriend were talking about this today, and he was talking about how, you know, a lot of financial institutions, you have to like run ride the ladder, and like sometimes you have to hold out for like 10 years before you get like managing director or partner and like make $1 million. And it's like a lot of work, and you're working all these hours and you don't enjoy your life, and that's the price you pay to get to that level if that's what you really want. And some people are driven by that, but it's like it's like a question you need to look inside for yourself of like, okay, what do I want to be spending most of my life doing? Like choose it or don't, but don't complain about it. Like you have every right to just create and choose whatever life you want, and no one is going to have any say over it, and you have every say over it.
Oh, there's something in there that you said that was so powerful, and it is create, right? Like we can create um anything. If someone is listening to this and they're like, well, you know, I feel like I choose everything. If there is a place in your life where you are not making any progress, if there is a place in your life where you're just standing still and you're stuck, you should really look at that circumstance and see where you are not powerfully choosing something. Are you just going through the motions and letting things happen to you and just dealing with the punches as they come in? Or are you taking the power back in it? There's something I saw that was so powerful. Will Smith, I swear, I don't know when it happened that Will Smith became the guru of our century, but Will Smith, he was talking about just moving forward and taking the power back. Um, and it was more so like about forgiveness. And sometimes forgiveness and moving past it when someone has wronged you is not giving them a pass. It's not about giving them a pass. It's about taking the power back of whatever the circumstance that was created by the fallout did to your life. You know, and that is choosing to forgive somebody, choosing to move past like a quarrel or a beef or whatever it is. Choosing is taking your power back in your life. That's basically in a nutshell what it is.
Oh, 100%. And I never understood forgiveness until I really got that you're it's a gift you're giving yourself. Like it actually has nothing to do with the other person that quote unquote wronged you, or it's like that you, or like when people say like for not forgiving someone is like drinking poison thinking hoping the other person will die. Like you're literally poisoning yourself with the harboring a resentment or being angry or having that pain. It's not harming anyone but you. And the person already did whatever they did. You know, if you're holding on to that, and the choosing to forgive is so powerful because it's you don't owe anybody anything. It's something for you. Like it's forgive. It's like I don't know. I've read somewhere where it's like they broke the word down and it was like it's forgive, but you're giving something. It's like you're giving something, or you're giving something up, like just being willing to just give up whatever the thing was, you know? People go to their graves with these resentments and these hurts. And, you know, if you could just choose, right, powerfully choose to give it up and forgive that person and forgive yourself for whatever power you put in, you gave to that person, it's really, I mean, it's amazing.
Oh, when you
Forgiveness.
say forgive yourself for the power you gave to that person, um, people get it mixed up with, I don't want to forgive that person because that's never going to happen to me again. Because you forgive someone and you let it go does not mean that you give them the power to do it again. You could still have boundaries. You could still not ever talk to that person again.
Yep.
But that doesn't matter if you're holding on to a grudge and you're harboring those things. And let's say your ex hurt you and now you can't love fully. Is that hurting your ex? Not loving
No.
the next person fully that can probably pour into you and then give you a happy life? That's what we mean. It is not
Yeah.
about, oh, this person is forgiven and they're off the hook. When you're
Right.
holding on to that the grudge and the resentment, and you're taking that baggage onto the next, that's only hurting you for sure.
So true. And I heard someone say again, like Marianne Williamson or something. She was like, I can forgive you, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna go have lunch with you. Like you don't have to be friends with this person. Like the forgiveness, if you can really get it, it's like for you and for your future, right? Like what you said about, you know, I'm gonna love this next person fully. Like it also takes time to get to that point where you can actually be like, okay, I'm complete about what happened with this person. I'm choosing to let go of it. And now I'm going to be fully available to whatever comes in and the person that comes in, and allowing myself the risk of falling in love and getting hurt again, or just allowing myself to go there, because that's everything in life. I mean, we all want to be in love. We all want to be loved. That's it. Like that's the meaning of life. You know, that's how we get created as human beings, is out of love. So it's like just choosing to be led by that, be led by like, wow, I want to just be loving and forgiving. And, you know, if someone hurts me, that's because they're hurting. Like just having also a level of compassion. It's just like, you know what? People do messed up things because they're really screwed up. I really got that because I was a person like that. Like I would get nasty with somebody, or I would be mean, or I would be, you know, not talk to someone or whatever, because I was actually hurt, like such a like traumatized, hurt person. I didn't deal with my own crap for so long. Then I started working on myself and dealing with my own stuff. I really got present to like, wow, like that's why I was so nasty, was because I was really hurt by someone else and I couldn't let go of it. And like you said, it impacts you and your future more than the person that hurt you. You know, if you came from an abusive family, or, you know, you had people that were abusive to you, that actually has nothing to do with them anymore. They did what they did. It's your choice if you're going to let that live in your mind and live in your world and affect your future,
Oh,
impact your
that's so
future.
good. That's so good. And I think too, there's so many choices even in that, right? Because there are people that are walking around with trauma that bury it, that don't choose it, and they're not doing anything about it. They're not talking to anyone,
Yeah.
they're not getting therapy, they're not, talking to someone that might have the same similar experience or sharing their story. That in
Yeah.
itself, um,
Oh my
choosing the
God.
trauma and then we're acting on that is big too.
That is so good. I can choose this because if I don't choose it, it's like you said, it's just like this insidious like way of being that can ruin your life. But if you can choose it powerfully, and then you said like have a choice, like get therapy, go talk to somebody. Like there's millions of therapists, there's like spiritual advisors. I'm seeing a spiritual advisor. She's amazing. It's having people in your corner that can be like, you know what? Like one of the things she does is she's like, whenever you're feeling vulnerable, just like put your hand on your heart and just be like, it's okay. Like you're safe. You're not that traumatized little girl anymore. But it's just like you have to take care of those parts of you that were traumatized, but it is a choice. Like
Mhm,
you have to
mhm.
choose that you were a victim and you're choosing not to be a victim anymore, because that's not like you're an
That's the
adult
part.
person. You're in your
Yeah.
40s. You can do something about it now. You're not a victim about it anymore.
And that's the biggest part, right? Choosing is taking the power back. No matter what circumstances dealt to you, you can control how you react and how you let that rule your life. So you're either
Yep.
going to choose to let it rule your life negatively or spin it to be something positive. I follow this girl, she has alopecia, and that's when you like, lose your hair. And she made a video and it's like, all these people, you're so beautiful, you can fix it with this, and that. She was like, nope, I got alopecia, I'm gonna wear these wigs. And she has like a whole wig story. And I find that so inspiring. And then you see like Cyndi Lauper take beautiful photos with her wrinkly belly after having her kids. Like that's choosing. That is powerfully choosing.
Yes.
And there's nothing that anybody can say to you, nothing that anybody can take away from you or make you feel bad or shame you, because this is what you choose. No one like rip the curtain away like, see, she's really XYZ, because they're powerfully choosing it. Think about those things in your life that you're on the fence or you're living in a daydream and you fantasize. Are you choosing your home? Think about that. There are times where I'm not choosing my home, and it's just like there's a pile of like clutter, and I'm just like, I hate that pile of clutter. And I would look at home and garden HGTV shows, and it's just like you got to choose a home and put some love into it and roll your sleeves up. It's just like this is
Yeah.
where I live, and I'm gonna make it my oasis. So look everywhere in your life where it's something that if it's something that is a record scratch, internal record scratch to you, or you don't really like it, and you're on the fence about it, think of what you're choosing. And it might not be to stay, it might be to go. That might be the choice that you need to make and you're not making. But living life on the fence, not a comfortable place to be. And it is not going to have you move forward.
No,
Mm-mm.
and it's like the secret to what I'm hearing is like choosing things that are in your space now powerfully. It's also like an abundance magnet, because you're just like, okay, I'm literally gonna, if I can just design my place and make the best of it and just appreciate, how many people probably would choose this place again and again and again, people that are homeless or people that it's like, wow, like I have all these things that I can be choosing. And it's like you said, like until you actually choose it, you won't know if you want to move somewhere else or whatever, because you're just going to be so watching these HGTVs and all this other stuff, like living in a fantasy world and not actually just being like, wow, this is what I actually have. And I'm either going to choose it and love it and stop complaining about it, or move. Like you only really ever have two choices. And I think you've said this to me in relationships, like where I've been on the fence about a guy or whatever. You're like, you're either going to stay and like be with this person and love this person and deal with their, nobody's perfect, or you're going to leave. That's it. Like there's no other, it's really black and white like that. And it's like I would say too, like, power of choice is like being pregnant. Like, you either are pregnant or you're not. Like, you are like, that's it. Like, it's a black and white. That's it. You have two choices, and it's always the same thing you can apply that to anything. Okay.
100%. So I think this was amazing. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Let us know if there's something that you made a choice on or something that you're on the fence, or you could DM us. I know people don't want to put their business out there sometimes. DM us. I'd love to hear about your choice stories or things that you're on the fence and you just need to make a choice. And there's nothing wrong with either way, but you can't be on the fence. You make the choice. And however that choice ends up, you make that choice work. And that's the major thing. Take your power back. We're your BFFs. We give it to you,
We give it to you straight. You know what I mean? It's just like, you're always going to have a set of circumstances, and that's it. It comes with the choice, and you just deal with it the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. We love you guys.
Love you guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and watch our visuals on YouTube and Facebook.